What on earth is happening at Mercedes? A letter to the fans apologising for finishing 5th and 7th in the opening race of the season was not on my bingo card for the year. Even in the emotional, off-the-cuff world that Toto Wolff lives in, this was absolutely insane. So why write this letter? What does the team hope to achieve? Or is Toto just starting to lose it? Let's find out. I guess I should start off by telling you what Mercedes has actually done. The team had come into the 2023 season looking to bounce back after losing their long-held constructors' crown to Red Bull. But Mercedes began the year off the pace of their rivals, with Lewis Hamilton taking 5th place and George Russell 7th, as both Aston Martin and Ferrari appeared to be just as fast, if not faster, than the Silver Arrows in Sakir. Hamilton was not best pleased after the race, telling the BBC that he had not felt listened to with regards to the development direction of the new car. But he and Mercedes will still work hard together to try and get back to the front as quickly as possible. There is a lot of pressure on the Silver Arrows this season. Hamilton's contract runs out at the end of the year, and if the team can't prove to him they can make a car capable of winning a World Drivers' Championship, he will probably leave. If Mercedes can't show improvement this year, then the next chance of a grid shuffle will be in 2026 with the new rules. Few people think he'll want to wait that long just to see if Mercedes can build a decent car. The team did warn that this could be coming, stating they would be competitive later in the season. Apparently, now they've seen the car on track, they think that with that current car, they can't be competitive this season. This has prompted the team to publish an open letter on its website, addressing their fans directly as they search for a way forward. I won't read the whole thing for you, you can find it on their website easily enough, just search Mercedes letter on Google. I'll give you a few of the highlights that I think are worth talking about though. The letter starts with something of an apology to the team's fans, stating, "Bahrain hurt. It hurt each one of us, who head into every season determined to fight for world championships." This echoes Toto's message of throwing in the towel after Bahrain, but a Formula 1 championship has never been won in one race. The opening few paragraphs are full of drama, but I'm not really sure why. This isn't like a historic Premier League team being demoted after a terrible season, or an NFL franchise going bankrupt. This is a Formula 1 team going from 3rd fastest on the grid to 4th fastest. And that assessment is only based on one race and a few testing days. Surely Mercedes has something in the works that will improve what is actually not an awful car. Well, apparently they do, as the letter breaks down 3 things they're doing to move forward. First, we won't panic or make knee-jerk reactions, is how their action points begin. Releasing an apology letter to your fans after one race screams of panic and knee-jerk reactions to me, but let's get past that. The letter says, "Inside the team we talk about having the courage to fail, the character to be accountable, and the strength to see failure as an opportunity." This is the same stuff Binotto was saying last year before he lost his job, by the way. They carry on to say they are urgently and calmly working on a short, medium and long-term plan to recover from what they see as a failure, but they do say they have development in the pipeline for the next few races. This is just one of the many mixed messages coming out of Mercedes at the moment. They're talking about developments and upgrades for their current car, which are likely to arrive in Australia or Azerbaijan, because that's when the first big upgrades of the year always start appearing. But after Bahrain, Toto was saying that the W14 was awful, and that they were going to completely switch concepts and build a new car, before singing the praises of Aston Martin, saying his team should be doing what they are. Normally, when a team is in control of what is going on, and is calmly responding to the difficulties they're facing, they give a united front and a clear message. Mercedes did that with porpoising last year. The drivers and Toto were all saying the exact same thing. This season, that isn't really happening. And when you get a lot of mixed messages from a team, that means they don't really know what's going on. It happens in politics as well, when politicians panic to respond to things and contradict themselves loads. On to the next point of their 3-part plan. Second, we'll keep our heads held high and take this journey step by step together. They carry on like this for a few sentences, making statements about hard work and earning success. It's all stuff you've read in storybooks as a child. Basically, they're saying they're in this together as a whole team, and are all working together to move the team forward. This links to that statement from the first point about having the courage to fail. The message seems to be that the team are doing this together, and that they aren't going to get rid of anyone after just one race. You aren't going to threaten your own staff in an open letter to fans. That would be like putting them in stocks and handing stones to social media users. But while the message is good, it doesn't match up to what is actually happening at the factory. Mike Elliott, the current technical director, has been undermined by James Allison, the previous technical director, being called back to help fix things. Definitely not a vote of confidence in your current technical director. They say in this part of the letter, "We're together through thick and thin," but the team's actions seem contrary to that. The letter might convince some fans, but the people working in the factory will be wondering why senior staff are on the verge of being replaced if they're together through thick and thin. The third point in the letter is the only one that really has any meaning, to be completely honest. It speaks to the fans saying, "Whether you're offering criticism or support, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way." Clearly, the form of the Mercedes team has upset some of the team's fans, and social media has become a toxic environment for certain team members. We have a zero-tolerance policy on discrimination, abuse, or bullying of any kind, and will take appropriate action to any comments or posts that do not meet our guidelines. A very clear message, and one that should be repeated each and every time people use social media. It's a great space for sharing opinions and discussing the sport, but criticism can be given in an unabusive way. Then the letter ends with a rallying cry to fans to get behind the team. So, what do you think of it? Personally, I just can't wrap my head around why they've released this. McLaren have gone the farthest backwards of all the teams this year, but they aren't writing open letters to fans apologising. They're doing their talking in the only place that it matters, on the track. Did Red Bull write an apology letter to fans in 2014 when the regulations changed? No. Teams come and go in dominance. Look at the current grid. Williams were once a powerhouse, as were McLaren and Alpine when they were Renault. Even Ferrari are a shadow of their time with Schumacher behind the wheel. So why is it that Mercedes feel that the natural cycle of Formula 1 has made them failures? Surely Toto didn't believe he would always win. I know he came into a winning team and then didn't lose for 7 years, but surely he didn't think it was that easy. This letter screams of arrogance to me. If the other team bosses found his outburst about porpoising funny, they'll be rolling around the paddock laughing in Saudi Arabia. The actual aim of the letter could be anything. If it is a rallying call to the fans, then fair enough. But if they turn up to Saudi Arabia and finish behind Red Bull, Ferrari and Aston Martin, then it'll just be turned into a joke. If it's an apology to Lewis in an attempt to keep him at the team beyond the end of the year, then again, it won't work because he still can't win any races in the current car. It seems like Mercedes are trying to play politics and have forgotten that Formula 1 is a sport. What happens on race day is what matters. All this letter does is pile the pressure even higher, especially on their technical department. Mercedes claim to not assign blame internally and learn from mistakes, but that just isn't true at all. The car and concept being openly criticised by both drivers and team boss Toto Wolff is a clear finger in the direction of the technical team. The technical director has been given a babysitter in the form of James Allison. They were treated like this last year as well. After the 2022 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Wolff apologised over the team radio to Hamilton for having to drive such a crap box. The fact that Russell drove that same car to the podium was not even mentioned. The technical department have made a good car. They look for fastest, but it's the first race of the season. Upgrades will come, things will improve. If I worked in that department and over the weekend saw my team apologised for my work to the whole world, I'd be fuming. It wouldn't motivate me to work harder, it would motivate me to get job hunting, like many other Mercedes team members have in recent years. Something is seriously wrong in the Mercedes team at the moment. They're not a team failing, they're just experiencing what happens in Formula 1. No one dominates forever. The belief that they should be winning every week, every year is insane. It's unhealthy, it's driving the team apart, and it's coming straight from the top. Can Mercedes stop the rot, or is this letter a sign that things are much worse under the surface? Let us know your opinions in the comments down below, and while you're down there, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with everything happening in F1. Until next time, drive safe and bye for now.